Aloha and welcome everybody. If you're joining us online, hello. And if you're joining us in person, hello. That's Amy there online with us tonight from Alaska. And it's still light here, Amy. I can see the light out your windows, but when it gets dark out here, she's in Fairbanks, Alaska, it will still be light where she is. Anyway, welcome to the Bodhi Tree, Hawaii. It's very generous of you guys to be here. Once again, she can see you, but you guys are not appearing on the stream, so there's no real need to worry about that. Do you have anything to say before do you want to do announcements tonight?
No, I think I'll let you take it away.
All right. We have new people here tonight, so I'll make the usual announcements. First of all, we do have a restroom. It's in the foyer there. The door is open. I always like to point out there's two locks on it. One of them is a slide lock, and one of them is a twist on the handle, right? You can enter and leave, you can enter and you can exit if you use the handle lock. But if you don't unlock it, it'll lock behind you and we'll have to punch the code in. So whatever works for you is fine. And again, I said it's very generous of you to be here. The Bodhi Tree here has been here a couple of decades. They're very generous to us in that we don't need to pay anything for the space here. But if you find that the Bodhi Tree has filled some spiritual niche in your life and you wish to help them out, there's a box out there, and they will accept donations gratefully. There are also some flyers for events that are coming up. In June, the first weekend of June, there will be a 2-day non-residential sitting here with a Ugandan Buddhist. He studied in the U.S. I mean, he started the Ugandan Buddhist Center, among other things, and he'll be leading. I'm familiar with who he is. I've never sat with him, so I'm looking forward to that. I think that's the 5th and the 6th, or the 6th and the 7th. I can't remember. That'll be here. There are also other things going on, Monday night sittings, some Tuesdays, the Wednesday that you're at, some Saturday morning sittings, and some other things. Also, if you're interested, I will be leading a 4-week introduction to mindfulness class starting Friday, May 15th. So there is a fee associated with it, but it goes to the Bodhi Tree, and there are scholarships. So that's, just work it out with them. And that'll be here on Friday nights for 4 weeks at 6 o'clock. So I can answer more questions about any of that. Hey, good to see you. All right. Did I miss anything, Amy?
I'll be back on island this summer just for a week so far, but I'm going to be there. Was it June 3rd, I believe, is the Wednesday that I'll be able to teach in person with you all. So that'll be nice to see those who come out. We've been doing this for some time now, Bob. Have you tracked when we first started?
Yeah, it was in, but we've been doing it a year now, because didn't we do it beginning in June last year when Tom went?
I think so. It'd be nice to figure that out. Maybe we can know our anniversary.
We may have even started at the end of May.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure it out. Maybe when you get back, we should have a snack night here. Maybe I can talk with Trin about having a little welcome home Amy.
Oh, well, that would be nice. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. You think?
Okay.
Well, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
So again, how we do this is we're going to do a little mindful movement first. So all of you who've sat down, we're going to stand up in a second. We like to do that. And as soon as we stand up, I'll have us sit. It's, calisthenics, get ready for a 50-mile run. No, just some mindful movement. And I really encourage you, if you can't do something or it's painful, don't do it. Yeah, we don't want anybody injured, and we don't want to make this painful for anybody. Yeah, so why don't we stand up? I will switch cameras here. You want to have some room between people so we can stretch out. If you're tall, don't stick your fingers in the fans. I do that all the time. And we'll do this for maybe 10 minutes and then have a sitting. Just very relaxed. Let's start by simply getting our feet perhaps a little wider than hip width apart. Letting our knees sort of bend just a little. Allowing our body just to settle. You guys aren't on camera. I am. Let your belly droop. It's fine. Most of us have our eyes only half lidded. Let our shoulders drop. And if they're tight, go ahead and circle our shoulders. Our necks gently. Just move in any way your body wants to move to let out any tightness that we're feeling. And then one of my favorites is just to start to wiggle a little with my hands. And then let that crawl up our arms into our shoulders. And then our whole body just sort of twitching and feeling good. Don't hurt yourself. Don't throw your hips and your back out or anything. And let's just come to a rest again. Okay, we are going to do a little neck stretching. So let's put our hands on our hips. Let ourselves just sink a little. What we're going to do, let me explain it first. We're going to take a nice deep breath in. And as we exhale, going to turn our heads to the right. Take another deep breath in, and then as we exhale, look over our shoulder all the way to the floor. We take another deep breath in and come all the way to the left. And if you screw up on the breathing, it's okay. All right, so nice deep breath in. And very slowly to the right as we exhale. And breathe in. And try to look over your shoulder to the floor. You might feel our backs, our hips being thrown out a little as we do this. Be careful. And then as we exhale slowly, all the way to the left. And then inhale, and over our left shoulder. Getting a nice stretch, but without hurting ourselves. Make sure we don't do that. And then as we exhale again, back over to the right. Inhale and exhale over our shoulder. I find that movement always sort of helps us settle before we sit. Exhaling all the way to the left again. And then on this next exhale, just return to center. This one's kind of fun, really easy. Leave your hands on your hips. And we're going to raise up on our toes. And then back on our heels and let your toes come up. And then back up on our toes. Really stretching our legs, don't fall over. And then back on our heels. Letting our toes wiggle and come up. One more time. And all the way back. And just come to a rest. Now, warm our hands up a little. We're going to do the same thing, except we're going to put our hands over our kidneys and push out our hips. So we're kind of bowed forward and back up on our toes, keeping the bow, and down and back a little. Feeling a little stretch on our shoulders and hips, back up and down. And one last time, up and down, and wiggle our toes and come to rest. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing one more time. Except this time, take our hands like we're hugging a tree, and we're sort of bowing our back the other way. So you can sort of feel that we've got our arms around a tree, kind of leaning into it, and up and down, and wiggle our toes, and up and down, and wiggle our toes one more time, and back down, and let our arms just come to rest. And we'll just stand here for a minute. And this one's kind of fun. We're going to sort of smooth our chi, smooth the energy running through us up and down. So we'll start with our hands in a prayer position. And just we're going to breathe in and out gently. Really doesn't matter, we don't need to keep it in time. But we want to imagine we're smoothing this line of energy. So up a little and down. And up a little and down. And up a little higher and down. And up a little higher and down. Up a little higher. Just seeing if we can have a sense of that line of chi being smoothed out, moving our hands up and down and up over our head a little and down and then up even a little higher and then up as if we're touching a bell. Let's leave our hands up all the way. And how many people like Chinese dragons? This is one of my favorites. We're going to pretend we're a Chinese dragon swimming or flying through the air. Might be a little hard to understand at first, so you might want to watch me. But we're going to take our hands and cross them over our throat, and then our midsection, and then our knees, and back up midsection, and throat, and back up above us, getting our whole body into the movement. Just like we're one of those benevolent dragons flying through the sky. And then the next time we get to the top, stop. And whichever way you went the first time, go the other way. Getting our whole body into it if we can. Getting a nice movement. Nice peaceful dragon. And one more time when we get to the top, we'll just stop. Our hands up. And with whatever energy we've accumulated, just throw it up. Allow our arms gently to come down. And when you're ready and feel comfortable, let's mindfully make our way back to a seated position for a meditation sitting. Tonight we'll be practicing for our first sitting metta, or loving kindness. Some people, has anybody not practiced this before? Okay, we'll start with some very basic instructions. Metta is the idea of friendliness. Let's all just take a moment and look at each other and maybe give a smile, just allowing ourselves to feel comfortable here. Did anybody sense a change in how they felt? Did it feel friendly? It may not, that's fine. But if it felt friendly, that is actually something that we can cultivate. Metta is the first of the divine abodes, Brahma Viharas, and these used to be attributes of the Hindu gods. And Buddha made a radical shift when he said, no, these are not just attributes of the gods. This is something that we can cultivate in ourselves. And so what we do when we practice metta, and tonight we'll just practice for ourselves essentially, and bring a few other things into it. We are trying to develop this sense of friendliness towards ourself, which sounds a little egotistical, but in truth, if we are more comfortable and friendly to ourselves, we're going to be a little more comfortable and friendly with those about us. And so just like a pebble tossed into a pond, the ripples go forth. And so if we're comfortable with ourselves, we can be a little more comfortable with others. And if this sounds silly, I totally get it. I was not a fan when I started doing this. It's been one of my main practices for several years now. So just allow ourselves to get very, very comfortable. In metta, we don't need to be concentrating. We don't need to be upright. There's no Zen master with a stick to wake us up if we start getting a little tired. Maybe take a few nice deep breaths in, filling our bellies if it's comfortable, and then exhaling slowly. Just allowing our awareness to settle into our body, just as we've allowed our body to settle into our chair or our cushion. Whatever's present for us can just be here. And the first thing we can do together is simply sit and know we're sitting. Just aware of the sounds around us, the breezes, sense of warmth or cool, our connection with the earth. We're not imagining this, we're not picturing it, we're simply aware of it. To begin our practice of metta tonight, we might start by bringing to mind a very loving being, someone or some creature, could be a puppy or a kitten, a child, a favorite aunt that always has a kind word, even a friend. that we're always delighted to see. And though the Buddha taught that we practice this for living beings, if we can't think of one, it's okay to imagine a little, or even bring somebody to mind that is no longer with us. And we'll begin by trying to cultivate a sense of friendliness and warmth towards them. Just holding this image of them, or just fond remembrance. In our mind, and wishing them well. Traditionally, this is often done by repeating phrases gently, silently, just a whisper, with intent if possible. And if it's not possible, that's normal, especially when we begin this practice. In which case, we remember it is a practice. We might say something like, "May you be safe." May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. The phrases are optional, and you can use whatever words you choose, whatever helps you develop and cultivate a sense of warmth to the being we've brought to mind. If our minds are especially busy, we might lengthen the phrases. Something such as, "May you be safe and protected from inner and outer harms." May you be happy and open to joy. May you be healthy in body, heart, and mind. And may you live with ease and equanimity and wisdom. We might investigate how this feels. How am I reacting to this? Is it comfortable? Difficult? Do I feel a sense of friendliness? Or am I just repeating a phrase? Whatever the answer, it's all good. It's all fine. May you be safe and protected. May you be happy and open to joy. May you be healthy in body, heart, and mind. May you be free from suffering and be at ease. Having held this being in mind, be it a puppy or a kitten, that favorite auntie, or a dear friend, even someone who may have departed. Let's bring ourselves to mind. It might be helpful to imagine ourselves in a picture. I'm fond of one when I was a child of 6, but it isn't necessary. And if it's helpful, we might put a hand over our heart space. Feel the warmth of even our own touch. Again, if it's helpful, we can use phrases, not as the object of meditation, but simply as a reminder of what we're trying to cultivate. A sense of friendliness, of warmth. And again, if that isn't possible, then at least no ill will. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. And we might be curious about the feelings this brings up. Is it different than with the loving being? This might be easier, it might be more difficult. Might simply be neutral. All are valid, all are just fine. We might now imagine this sense of friendliness we are cultivating, this sense of loving kindness, to be a candle in our heart space, a light shining on all beings around us. Pervading forth in all directions. Just allowing this sense of friendliness to pervade, to be with us, to include us, to include all beings. To include all who came before us, all who are present, all who will continue. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. And may the path and journey of all beings be easeful, be free from suffering, shortly I'll invite the bell to ring again. There's no need to hurry back. Just allow the sound to be present and to carry with it a sense of metta, a sense of friendliness. Thank you. We'll now have about a 7-minute break. It'll be timed, and I'll call us back with a bell. We do ask that, if at all possible, you remain in silence and maintain this sense of friendliness. There's water in the foyer and the restroom. The lanai is available if you'd like to go outside. And we'll be back in just a few minutes. If you'd like to stay here and sit, that's just fine too. See you in a minute. Hey there, Amy.
Aloha.
All right. Well, I'm going to turn it over to you for whatever it is you have planned for us. So here you go. Oops, wrong one.
Awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and pin you guys. Hi there. Some new faces and some familiar faces. Nice to see you all. I am excited to be back in Hawaii. I've been in Alaska since September. It's been one of the coldest winters they've had in a very long time. But strange enough, I'm very comfortable in 45 degrees now, which is weird because anything under 70 used to freak me out. It's funny how that works. Oh, yeah. So tonight I wanted to recognize a holiday, a Buddhist holiday that just occurred. We had Vesak just happen on May 1st. And essentially, this is a holiday that happens usually the first full moon of May. And it recognizes three different events in Buddhism. It recognizes the birth of the Buddha. It recognizes the awakening or enlightenment event that happened with the Buddha, and then it recognizes his death, all of that. And it all kind of lines up. Some people think of it as a mystical time where they feel more sensitive. Other people just use it as a time to practice more. Yeah. And it's interesting this time because I started practicing almost, wildly enough, it's getting close to 20 years ago. And when I first started practicing, it was very much like mindfulness, like the science of it, right? And I'm going to lean into all the science of mindfulness is what felt comfortable. John Kabat-Zinn's work, mindfulness-based stress reduction, everything where westernized medicine was really just taking mindfulness as far, and incorporating into medical models. And anything else I felt very uncomfortable with. I was like, what's this? What's happening? What do you mean the Buddha? What's enlightenment? I don't know. And even today, I have some parts of me that are like, pragmatic about this. I don't know what happens like after we die. I don't know if I'll ever like reach like total enlightenment, stuff like that. But the Buddha said, don't something like, don't like trust my words, just practice, see what happens for yourself, find out what happens for yourself. And so I practiced, and meaning I sat stillness a lot. I followed my breath sometimes, or I paid attention to the body or sounds. Sometimes I tracked my mind states, different categories. I've got the mind state that thinks about work, and mind state that thinks about getting enough sleep and family, chocolate, you know. I started paying attention to the coming goings of experience, seeing if I could soften into the moments or just know them. And I did this sometimes with my eyes closed. And then I started doing this sometimes with my eyes open. Well, just an invitation right now to see what's true with your eyes open. You can use the senses. Do you smell? You might not taste anything unless you maybe have bad breath or a mint going on or something. Oh, what you feel, what you hear. Where's your mind? Could it be here a bit? Could it feel the body? It's a little tricky sometimes because we have this thing I've mentioned before, scientists can call like negativity bias, or like psychologists can call the negativity bias. When we're present, sometimes our brains just go to what's difficult, which is super fun to do while you're sitting, sometimes in uncomfortable postures. Which is why the practice incorporates so much encouragement, or at least my favorite teachers do, for seeing if we could soften a little with it, soften this body with it, or soften this heart with it. Can I hold this with, I use the word love, that makes people feel uncomfortable sometimes, compassion, ease, kindness. Because if we try to be present, we try to be present without some of that, it's a little rough. Is that anybody else's experience? You just try to sit without a little kindness and they just like feel your body and feel your lives. Is it like a good time for everybody? I'm guessing it's complicated. Sometimes it might be a good time. But this negativity bias has kept us alive, survival, right? We had to know the bad stuff to stay alive. We are survival beings, which means paying attention to what sucks could keep us alive. And now it's maybe not so much the case. Maybe now it makes more sense to pay attention in a different way. So I mean, I don't know exactly what was going on, with the Buddha 2000 years ago, but he definitely has incorporated or created or started a line of teachings and practices that make sense to me. I'm a pretty skeptical person. There's a lot of stuff that I'm like not trusting of. And for a long time, I was like, oh, I'm going to sit, that's good, but I'm not really sure about any of this Dharma stuff. I'm not so sure about this Buddha stuff. And then I have some wonderful teachers, and I was like, wow, did they just like write this like teaching? Like, do they write this Dharma talk for me? That's happening a lot. And it started to feel safer. Like I felt safer. The teachings felt safer. The teachers I have. And also, this is like a spectrum, right? Like Buddhism has a bunch of different teachers. There's a bunch of different traditions. I've been around teachers that I don't feel safe with. I've been around teachers that do feel like they consistently showing up with safe, like that feel safe and kind, and wise. Um, and even then, I'm still careful. I still like anybody in power. I'm a little bit like waiting for the shoe to drop. And for my own karma, I felt moments of abandonment or betrayal, right? And so it's easy for my brain to be like waiting for the shoe to drop. I kind of like have a piney part of me that's sometimes like waiting for the shoe to drop. No, actually, I can't even finish that sentence. I'm not really waiting for the shoe to drop in the Dharma, which is pretty neat. I trust the Dharma. I don't always trust all the teachers or all the different places of it, right? I can't trust all of the things out there because these are human beings, right? I can't even trust myself all the time. I'm not judging them. Like, definitely can't trust myself all the time. Like, I've got this new rule where I'm like not going to eat past 7 p.m. I don't know if I can trust myself actually to follow through with that. Um, it's tricky. So, yeah, to me, the Buddha is a symbol. It's a symbol of a lot of teachings and practices that make sense to me. And I don't know, for those of you, are new on this journey, where you are in it, if you're sold, if you're somewhere in the middle, that you're here tonight for some reason. And yeah, whatever that is, I guess I have a wish in my heart that this, whatever it is that brought you here, continues to help support you on this journey in some way, whether it's through the Bodhi tree, with other teachers on island, or through books, or there's so many Dharma talks online that are lovely. Yeah, I wish is that you find support in your lives that helps you see the ways in which you can meet your life with more wisdom and love for yourself and for others. And yeah, and I'm almost saying that to myself right now too. I think I have my own, like I mentioned, so karma's like habits of minds, like causes and conditions that have led. And the inner critic in me has been really loud. It's been really loud. And the outer critic too, I've noticed I was really hard on myself this last few weeks. And then I'm starting to be hard on other people. It's like, wow, people are really difficult. And I mean, that's not untrue. People are difficult. I'm difficult sometimes. But I'm not seeing as clearly. I'm not seeing the humanity and the goodness that I can see. I'm still practicing. So I think that helps me be aware of it. Because when I'm aware of it, you can have a little more choice. And my intention is to show up in this world, um, giving people the benefit of the doubt, and um, seeing common humanity. A lot of Buddhism has some of that in this common humanity. When someone cuts us off in traffic, I mean, have we ever cut someone off in traffic? You guys ever cut anyone off in traffic? I have. When we lose our patience, stuff like that, or when someone else does, I mean, we have too. It doesn't mean we don't protect ourselves from things that are not safe. It doesn't mean we forgive too quickly. Things hurt. But for me, thinking that the world, is like me, just in a different phase, in a different moment, a different difficulty they're facing, it makes me not so harsh. And yeah. Yeah, so I appreciate you all listening to this, because I think this teaching might have been more for me than anybody else in this room. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's transition to, we're going to sit, but if these bodies need to move a little and stretch a little, let's just spend the next 60 seconds or so. If you want to stand up or stretch or try a new position for a bit. For any of you newbies out there, um, just know that, yeah, we do this next meditation and in here, it's okay to move if you have to. It's okay to move the first 30 seconds. It's okay to move in the middle. It's okay to move 100 times. You just do it mindfully. And then for those of you who are choosing to lay down, go for it. That's my mode sometimes. My recommendation is those who are laying down might want to peek your eyes open or just know. It is sometimes helpful to lay down with one hand kind of up. So you kind of like have one arm up a bit towards you, like pull it up so it's like in the air, up a little higher, up a little higher. So it's like that. There you go. And then have your elbow resting down. That's it right there. Okay. The guy in blue's got it. Okay. So, and that way, when you start to fall asleep, your arm will start to move and smack you so you wake up. That way you don't snore on us. And if you snore on us, that's okay. We'll mindfully try to be compassionate towards you. Um, but yeah, that's one option. Some people do two arms. And then also, if you start to find yourself falling asleep, you can always stand up or sit up or whatever you want. But yeah, take care of your bodies. I love it. All right. Enough words for now. Let's settle into some stillness. Inner and outer, or inner or outer. Stillness is the invitation. Softening. Sitting or laying down in stillness. Relaxing into it. This present moment awareness, this practice is a pause. It's a gift to ourselves. The mind that problem solves and takes care of us all day long can take a break. You can remind it over and over again. This is break time. Just here and now. The invitation is to slow down all the thinking you do throughout the day. This rest, this pause, this slowing down. It honors our lives. It impacts how we show up for ourselves and others. We treasure the here and now, honor the here and now. And as we soften, relax even a little bit into this moment, we can begin to see the habits of our mind from a perspective of understanding. Whatever we see, we can pull gently. Oh, I'm thinking about work again. That makes sense. Work's been stressful. And then we come back into the moment. Or we feel the impact in our body of that stress in the moment. Not the story, but the impact on our body. Paying attention to our body. Paying attention to the moment. When we pause like this, we slow down and soften into the moment. We can begin to see and understand the habits of our mind with more clarity and care. We can see the goodness under all our efforts. We can validate the struggle in the most tricky parts of our lives. These tricky parts of being human. And when we pay attention in this way, the parts of us that struggle don't have to be quite so loud because they're allowed to be felt, understood, recognized. And when the parts of us that are struggling to be felt and understood, it makes space for us to be a little more present, a little more wise in the unfolding of our lives. It might not look like we're doing much to the rest of the world, but what we're doing profoundly matters. It impacts how we show up. This practice can let us know what inside us is begging to be seen and understood and loved. When it's felt and seen, understood, and loved completely, then it can rest. The 10,000 joys and 10,000 sorrows of our lives. Seen, honored. You aren't broken, you're human. And everyone in this room knows what it's like to be human. We aren't walking this path alone. You may be sitting in silence, with our eyes closed, but we're doing this together, facing this being human together. There's no perfect yogis. There's no perfect. There's moments of peace and freedom. And they can be found here, inside ourselves, in between ourselves. When we create the causes and conditions that allow for it. Here and now. Meeting life on life's terms. Resting in ease. Turning toward what's tricky. Seeing it, feeling it, loving it. And then turning toward ease, resting in ease. Titrating between what's sustaining and supportive, and what's tricky. What inside of us needs a little more space, a little more patience, a little more understanding, a little more courage, a little more trust, a little more love. I'll end with a quote by Mary Oliver, the poem by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies, and the deep trees, the mountains, and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. You don't have to be good. You don't have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Bring. Thank you all, in person and online. I think we're about to say aloha to our Sangha online. See you next week.